Known abroad as the 450 MT, the Ibex 450 from Cfmoto has finally arrived in Brazil. And this is the only video you need to watch to know everything about it. Why is it called Ibex in Brazil? Technical features, performance in the city and on the road, fuel consumption, insurance cost, and maintenance costs. And of course, my honest opinion with the pros and cons. Is it really worth it? Watch until the end and I'll give you my opinion. I am Amanda Pagliari and this is the most charming motorcycle channel in Brazil, which also brings you the most complete two-wheel reviews on the internet. So go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel because this bike deserves it. Cfmoto was founded in 1989 in China and started out as an engine manufacturer. Today, it's a global giant producing high-quality motorcycles, ATVs and UTVs exporting to the whole world. In fact, it manufactures KTM motorcycles and participates in MotoGP. I made a detailed video showing the history of Cfmoto and also the entire lineup, including products that haven't been confirmed in Brazil yet. I'll leave the link in the description and also in the card, so go watch it later. Abroad, it's known as MT, which stands for multi-touring. The only place where it's not called MT is in the United States, where it got the name Ibex, which is an animal, right? A mountain goat, the one with those characteristic horns. And I think it makes sense with the purpose of this motorcycle, which is a heavier off-road motorcycle, right? Climbing mountains. So it makes sense. But we don't have that goat here in Brazil, right? So why is it called Ibex in Brazil and not MT? You know, at the time of the launch, Cfmoto said that because it's America, right? So we're on the American continent, so there's the United States and then Brazil. Everything is more or less close. So they chose the name Ibex. That's the official answer. But the rumor going around, you know, the rumor mill is what? That the name MT? Ibex would compete directly with Yamaha's MT name, right? Master of Torque. Yeah, even though they're different concepts, this one is an adventure and the Yamaha one is a naked line. They have the MT name, so trademark registration, and those things could cause problems. So those are the rumors saying that's why Cfmoto didn't bring this name here to Brazil. I actually prefer the MT line, you know? The name MT, but I've already gotten used to Ibex. And you, do you prefer MT or Ibex? Write it down below, The design of this bike is really beautiful. It catches attention wherever it goes. Honestly, it doesn't even look like a 450cc motorcycle. It looks like it has 500 or 600. That's how robust and sturdy it is. So here we have the metal tank, but here the plastic fairings, and you can see different types of textures. You have the glossy part, here the matte part, also with this kind of striped finish, right, more or less. So you have several parts here with different textures, and that shows the attention and refinement in the details, right? You see a motorcycle with narrower dimensions because it's designed for off-road, so that's the style of this motorcycle. It's kind of a bigger mid-size adventure bike, let's say, but it's a trail motorcycle for you to ride off-road on dirt. So its purpose isn't touring, so you'll notice that some comfort features are missing on this bike, given its purpose. So here you have, look, the narrow seat, the trellis frame here, very visible. The finish on this bike is spectacular. They really did a job to European standards since it's successful in Europe. And in Europe, the market is more demanding. It will definitely be a success in Brazil. One detail about this motorcycle, it came with a low fender, right? So we have several photos, right? Out there, it's circulating with a high fender. I asked Cfmoto why it came with this version for our market, right, and not directly with the high fender. And they told me they brought the version from China, right? So that's this configuration here. The good thing is that you can buy the little beak, the so-called high fender, right? And you can remove the low fender here. And then you can leave it in a more off-road style, but more than just style, for those who are going to use it in heavy mud, this one gets stuck. So a lot of people even take it off, remove it, because it actually gets in the way. So if you're going to use it for extreme off-road, know that you can remove this here, put on the high fender, and give it a different style. Are you on that team? Are you on the team that thinks that's good, right? Are you on team beak or no beak? Write your answer below. I want to know your opinion. The lighting is all LED. An interesting detail here is that the turn signals are protected, right? After all, dropping it in the dirt, who hasn't, right? So it's very common for that to happen. And at least here, the turn signals won't get ruined. So we have full LED lighting and we have this really nice position light here, right? And the headlight here is seriously bright, but the high beam is down here, see? You also have a passing light, right? This headlight assembly style is more vertical, right? Yeah, we also have the hazard lights here. Look, pretty interesting. And what I liked is that the finish on the turn signals is smoked. Really beautiful. The windshield, guys. The windshield is really small. That's exactly what you're seeing here. That's the maximum height. And the adjustment is manual, okay? It doesn't bother me that it's manual, okay? It's mainly for off-road use, so fewer electronics are better. With your left hand, while riding with your right, you can adjust the windshield here. That's all there is to it. A detail that caught my attention here in the cockpit is that the brake fluid reservoir is transparent, so you can see the condition of the brake fluid. That's really good, so you don't forget, and you can also keep an eye out for any impurities. I found that very interesting. Yeah, I wanted to show you this mirror here. Look, it's retractable, guys. Check this out. Oops, I didn't break it, see? So, Amanda, but why? Guys, this is really good for off-roading because you don't need to remove it. Because, again, falling is part of it, right? You need to add accessories and everything. But on that one, the mirror is a hassle because you need tools. On this one, you don't. You turn in there, play around in the dirt, do your thing, go up a mountain, come down the mountain, then get back on the road again. You just set the adjustment here however you want. So that's really nice because they sell accessories like this on the market, like mirrors, right, as accessories in this style. But here it already comes from the factory, and that's really good. And speaking of accessories, what comes standard with this motorcycle? Color-matched handguards, right? So here they're white, very beautiful. We have a skid plate, right, in aluminum here. It comes with a luggage rack here, integrated with the passenger handle, so you can put a top case here. And for you to protect your Ibex, my tip is to use scam accessories, which are very high quality and durable. In addition, of course, there are top cases in aluminum and molded plastic. There are cases that fit up to 2 helmets, as well as side cases in aluminum and molded plastic ones. Scam has a lot of quality and durability. To check out the complete line for your Ibex or any other type of motorcycle or scooter, just click the link in the description. Or point your phone's camera at the QR code on the screen, and I'll tag some products for the Ibex 450 here in the video. And the seat of the Ibex, it's a one-piece seat. It's really beautiful here on the side, right? This gray color with this pink here. I just love this color, guys. And the seat, it's pretty narrow and it has more of an off-road feel, so it doesn't have a lot of padding, okay? I'll test it on the road and let you know. The seat height from the ground is 82 centimeters. However, you can adjust the height. You can lower it by 2 centimeters. Down here, by adjusting the link in this little hole, you can change the bolt and make the bike lower. I'll get on so you can see. Look, I'm 1.77 meters tall and I can put both feet on the ground without any difficulty. And this is a bike, from what I've seen out there, that's very accessible for shorter people, and that's really good because not everyone can ride a big adventure bike, right? However, very tall people might even complain because their legs will be only slightly bent, right? With that in mind, CF offers a taller seat so you can put a higher seat for taller people, right? So they feel more comfortable riding it. And well, here we have the passenger foot peg, which features a black finish here. Very beautiful. As for the rider's foot peg, it has these little studs around it and also these rubber parts. On the road, the rubber adds a lot of comfort, it reduces vibration, and I'll show you in a moment whether it vibrates or not. And when you're going to use it off-road, you remove this rubber so you have more grip when you're riding off-road. Riding position. My legs are very well positioned here, okay? Even though the seat has this curve, right? It's not really a problem for me. I liked it here. And the position of my arms here is also very good. The front part is fixed, so when you turn here, the front stays in place. So in general, yes, the motorcycle offers a good riding position. Of course, when standing up too, right? Look. For those who ride off-road, you need to ride standing up. And apparently here you can fit on it very well. But ideally, you should go to a dealership and if possible, take a test ride. It's a narrow bike, okay? When maneuvering, it might feel a bit heavy, okay? The center of gravity is a little higher because of the tank. But yeah, when you're riding it, you don't really feel that weight. All told, it weighs 185 kilograms ready to ride, right? Net weight, considering all the fluids and the fuel tank, which has a capacity of 17.5 liters of gasoline. The engine that powers the Ibex 450 is shared with other models from the brand, like the Naked, the Sport, and also the CLC line, right? The custom line. However, the maps are a little bit different compared to the Naked and the Sport, as you can see there on the screen. And we're talking about a twin cylinder with 450cc, which produces 44 horsepower at 8,500 RPM and 4.2 kgf-meter of torque at 6,500 RPM and kgfm. A 6,500 giros. It comes with Bosch brand electronic fuel injection, and it has a final chain drive, 6 gears, and a slipper and assisted clutch. What does that mean? The assisted clutch here provides smoothness when you pull the clutch lever, which is very smooth, by the way. And the slipper technology prevents the rear wheel from locking up when you downshift abruptly, providing more safety. The front suspension is from Kayaba, with a sturdy 41mm diameter manual compression and rebound adjustment and a 200mm travel. And at the rear, also Kayaba, with a linkage and preload adjustment with 200mm of travel. For the brakes, we have a single disc at the front with a 320mm diameter and a 4-piston caliper from Rotajuan. And at the rear, a single disc with 240mm and a piston. And it comes with the anti-lock braking system, ABS on both wheels. And the cool thing is that you can turn off the ABS on the rear wheel by pressing a button or adjusting it on the dashboard, which I'll show you in a moment. The wheels are spoked, tubeless, with a 21-inch rim at the front, an 18 at the rear, and it comes with dual-purpose tires. The dashboard is a 5-inch color TFT screen, really beautiful, guys. It looks like a tablet. It's so cool. It lets you control plenty of dashboard information directly from the left handlebar. And I wanted to show you that it has 2 theme options, Theme 2 and Theme 1. So which one do you think is better? I'm going to set it to Theme 1 here just so we can see the information. And look, here you have the tachometer, okay? Speedometer, gear indicator, you have the temperature here, right? Engine temperature, you have the battery voltage here. Clock, here you have the range, right? Look how cool that is. And also information about how much you have in the tank, right? And here you change the onboard computer information. You have trip 2 here, right? Here you have the partial, how many kilometers, the consumption you're making, the time of trip 2, right? Look at that. And also the average consumption, okay? And how long this has been running. And also here the range. That's from trip 2, then you have the total odometer. And trip 1, you can change it. Then you have the partial information. This is really good. Outside, we have several indicator lights, right? You can see the information we have here. And a cool thing is the free Cfmoto app, which has a lot of information. You can, for example, see where the motorcycle is located. This is built in. You don't pay anything extra for it. It's really cool. There are a lot of details. You can see your routes, the map of where you've ridden, and also information like whether you braked hard or not. That's really nice. And of course, you also have navigation. You can have the map mirrored directly on your phone, just like you're seeing on the screen. It's really cool. Besides that, if you click on the menu here, vehicle information, look how nice it looks. You can see all the details, right? Like the odometer and everything else. And you can also adjust the ABS here, right? Turn off the ABS on the rear wheel and also adjust the traction control, which you can turn off. I like that it shows everything, right? It's very visual, isn't it? And this engagement reminder is it's the shift light that shows you, right? It will show up there on the tachometer, the right moment for you to shift gears, which you can choose. You can answer calls, see the music action. The app I mentioned to you is really cool, right? And that's it, guys. The dashboard is really complete. You can adjust the brightness, pair it, even with your intercom helmet, with your phone. It's really cool, super complete. The brake lever has an amplitude adjustment, and on the right side controls we have the button to cut the engine power. Here is the ignition, and down here we have the hazard lights. The clutch lever also has amplitude adjustment, and here on the controls we have the 4 buttons for you to navigate the dashboard. Very intuitive and simple. And the cool thing is that these buttons here, these 4, they're backlit, so at night you get really good visibility. It makes sense since you're going to be using the dashboard here, right? You signal to the left, to the right, here's the horn, and here's a very easy button that lets you turn off the ABS. In addition to the dashboard, there's this easy to use button here. Look guys, it just started raining now. Aren't you going to leave your like? I'm rushing to bring this motorcycle to you. Aren't you going to leave a like? Leave a like. Off-road mode, ABS is off, but when you restart the motorcycle for safety reasons, the ABS on the rear wheel is reactivated. And then, if you want, you just press the button again to deactivate it here. And here on the left side with the little door, we have 2 outlets, a USB type A, right, and a USB type C. And now that I've shown you everything about it, it's time to drive through the streets of Sao Paulo, also hit the road in the rain, without rain, at night. So it's really important for you to leave a like if you're enjoying the video. Give me this vote of confidence. Leave a like now. If you don't like it later, you can take it back, okay? Now hop on the back with me. Music. Is it recommended for beginners? Look, music. In my humble opinion, the right thing would be for you to start with a 150, 160, or at most a 250, and then work your way up. The thing about this bike is the height issue. If you can handle the height and the weight up here, great. I don't recommend if you just got your driver's license, starting here with the Ibex 450. To ride here among the cars, you can go and you'll do fine, but you have to be careful because of its size, right? Music. It's really a very enjoyable motorcycle. I was surprised by the engine, how progressive it is, how nice it is to ride. It helps you here in traffic. It doesn't tire you out. I was surprised. Music. Its dimensions, it's a wide motorcycle, so in tight lanes you'll have a little bit of difficulty. But it surprised me. Look, since it's a tall motorcycle, I can actually get past some cars. I go over them. Look at this. Look at the stability of this motorcycle for you to ride here among the cars. First gear here, wow, the engine is so smooth, so linear, amazing. Music. Wow, to maneuver here, the motorcycle doesn't jerk. Hey sir, the motorcycle doesn't jerk, it doesn't startle you. Guys, no one is talking about how great this motorcycle is for riding in traffic. Music, but I'm about to ride on the road and I'll tell you all about it. That's it, I loved it, I really did. Here is the Ibex 450 with a more linear, progressive engine. Balanced music, approved in the city and on the dirt. I'm not gonna ride in this test, guys. But there are a lot of videos on the internet with people going up and down mountains, even comparing it to the Yamaha Tenere 700. So you'll find out what this one is capable of. If the rider is good, he can even go to Everest with it, right? For sure. And I'm about to hit the road with it. Here's their map. It's not Google Maps, it's from the app. But look. It's here, right? The navigation, see? When I lock the phone, look, it only shows turn by turn. I didn't like that. Here it's telling me to turn in 1.5 kilometers. It turned into a turn-by-turn navigation. But the cool thing is that the information you need is right here on the dashboard. So I'm in a high gear, right? 90 kilometers per hour, I'm just cruising. Just a reminder, everyone, there's a video about the Ibex 700. It's got an amazing price. Link in the description, also in the card. Go watch it later. Look at this. Dude, the motorcycle doesn't vibrate. Wow. Progressive engine. Man, that's so cool. Let's see what will cut at 160. Look, you can feel the engine is already cutting. Look, 160, it's cool. Whoa. For me, it's really well tuned for Brazilians. I think that's what Brazilians want. A motorcycle that can ride in the city and on the highway in an economical, reasonable way, right? But with some power. A pleasant motorcycle that doesn't strain or tire you out. Regarding the seat, I found it to be reasonable. It's not the most comfortable in the world, but it's not the hardest either. That's it. The motorcycle is stable and doesn't vibrate. At the speed I was going, it didn't shake, right? But I also didn't go over 160. But that's it. I'm really excited about the Ibex 450. Man, to take corners, this bike is really nice. It leans into the curves by itself. You just have to be careful with the tires, right? Unfortunately, the tires aren't for on-road use, right? They're more for off-road, but the bike does really well. And look, it's taking the turn by itself. By itself, the handling of this bike is really good. The bike rides very smoothly, and that's nice, but for those who want to hit the road, right? Wants to take trips, but of course for those who like off-road, you might feel a bit of a lack of low-end torque. Woohoo! For example, the Himalaya has much more torque at the start, right? It's a single-cylinder engine, but you can't change the gear ratio on the Ibex 450, but I don't recommend it if you're going to hit the road too, okay? Because ever since it left the factory, it's been good, okay? Yeah, so that's it. It doesn't have that explosive torque at the start. It's a single-cylinder engine. But it's really versatile. That's what's cool. And this windshield here, look, Lord have mercy. It's pretty complicated. I don't even know how the audio is for you to hear. But I don't even feel like speeding up, guys. The air comes in from the sides, from above. I go anywhere. And it's going to be bad for my head here. Get ready. So here's what happened. I rode a lot with the Ibex 450 in the city and on the road. What a fun bike. I really liked it. Regarding fuel consumption, we know it really depends on how the rider handles it. The more you accelerate, the more it's going to use. There's no way around it. And with me, mixing city and highway riding, top speed and all, it averaged about 18 kilometers per liter. Do you have an Ibex 450? Write down here in the comments what kind of fuel consumption you get with it. Do you think the Ibex 450 is targeted for theft? Look, don't even wait to confirm that information, just get it insured right away. Because, as I always say, insurance is a mandatory accessory that you need to have for your motorcycle, especially if you live in Rio or Sao Paulo, right? And other cities that are quite complicated when it comes to crime. The good thing is that you, my follower, have access to the cheapest insurance in Brazil. The Protect Me brokerage has the cheapest insurance. It's not that they sell insurance themselves, right? They sell insurance from companies registered with SUSEP. It's a 100% digital online brokerage, and that's why it's cheaper, because it doesn't have a lot of costs. So they can reduce expenses and give you a bigger discount. I did a simulation here. I selected male, 41 years old, which is the average age for people on the channel. And I used the zip code for Mogi das Cruzes, where I live right now. And look at this. I'll pick an option here for you, but you can do it using the link in the description or the QR code on the screen. A simulation for your profile. And the price was for theft and robbery with assistance, right? Tow truck service for 733 reais, 733, 00 or 683, 00 already with my discount coupon. And of course, it will depend a lot on your city. It might be much cheaper for you, or if you want another insurance option with full coverage, including fairing, third-party damages, and everything else. Just click the link in the description or point your phone's camera at the QR code on the screen. Then you'll fill in your information. You can't lie, right? Fill it out correctly and that's it. The insurance price comes out instantly. You don't even need to have the motorcycle with you to get an insurance quote. That's helpful since it can influence which motorcycle you buy. Sometimes people get a bike and later realize the insurance costs a third of its price, which complicates things. But Protectil is here to help you. It's easy, no bureaucracy. Click, get a quote, done. Now I'm going to talk about the positive and negative points of the Ibex 450. Just a reminder, Mandinha doesn't own the truth. You can agree, disagree, or even add your thoughts in the comments in a respectful way. But first, you need to subscribe to this channel. Why? Because our goal is to reach 1 million subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please help me out. It's not going to hurt your finger. Just click the subscribe button down below. There's always quality content here for you, so I really count on your help. And I'll start, guys, with the positive points of this motorcycle. The design, right? I couldn't leave that out. It's a very beautiful, robust motorcycle. It attracts attention wherever it goes. A good thing, right? People get interested and look. So you don't need to spend all the money in your piggy bank to have a flashy motorcycle, and you feel really good riding it. So that's a positive point. Another thing that caught my attention, another positive thing, is the finish. Forget about this thing of, oh, it's Chinese or whatever. Guys, the iPhone is made in China, you know? So yeah, there are different levels of quality. And here at CF, it's high quality. After all, the motorcycle is sold in Europe. It's a totally different competition. They have motorcycles we don't have in Brazil, and this bike performs really well. You can see the finish, weld quality, and how well the parts fit together. Everything is excellent. Another positive point is that Cfmoto offers a range of accessories for you to equip your Ibex 450. As you can see on the screen, there are several accessories. They are confirmed for Brazil, and then you can equip it, put on the bigger seat. You can even add the high fender, right, if you want to put it on, or remove the low fender. So that's a really good thing. You can also add side cases and a top case. And I saw up close, these accessories are really high quality, so that's a plus. Another good thing is that it's a motorcycle prepared for off-road. Unfortunately, I couldn't ride on dirt in this test for two reasons. First, it's missing the accessories, and for protection. And second, it rained a lot, so there was a lot of mud, so I thought it was better not to take any risks in that part. But you can find several videos on the internet, including putting the Ibex 450 and the T7 side by side. So you see that if the rider is good, this bike can climb the mountain. But dashboard, that's a positive point. It's super complete with lots of information. The only thing is that I couldn't set the fuel consumption to kilometers per liter, right? I tried changing the settings, but I couldn't. But other than that, it has range. Everything is complete here, really nice. Another good thing, guys, is the app. It's a smart app, not just for checking things like consumption or service, no. It's an app that lets you locate the motorcycle. If you lent it to your friend, you can see where they're going. You just open the app, right? Imagine that. I keep wondering if wives are going to start doing this. All the wives will install the Cfmoto app on their phones. But I found out that you can't put it on two phones at the same time. So you can only use it on one phone. So that's it, right? Whoever has the phone will know the location of the motorcycle. Other things you can do in the app include even setting up a geofence with a set radius, right? Yeah, it notifies you, right, if it leaves that perimeter. And another thing that Mandinha likes is having the map on the screen. I'm kind of lost, guys. I need GPS there. And as you can see on the screen, you can display the map directly on the Ibex 450's dashboard. It's not mirroring like Android Auto or CarPlay. It's not mirroring Waze or Google Maps. It's a specific app from CF, okay? You enter the address there. There might be some addresses it can't find, but that's just a note. On the iPhone, I tested it, right? Because I use an iPhone. And when you lock the screen, it stays on navigation turn by turn, just like I showed you on camera. Now on Android, look, that's a good thing. I tested it and found out that on Android, when you lock the screen, you can still see the map. So it's a happy day for Android owners who are going to buy an Ibex 450. Another good thing that helps with off-roading is this mirror here because you can fold it in. So this is really good. Yeah, inverted Kayaba suspension in the front. A renowned high-quality brand. Really good, okay? That's a positive point. And it's fully adjustable there, right? You need to know how to adjust it, but it's a good thing, okay? We don't see this on lower or mid-displacement bikes, but on higher ones. And why did I start the bike? To talk about the positive point, which is the stock exhaust note, check this out. Let me pause to admire this roar. I'll rev it up for you to see. Original roar. Two outlets here on the side, that's a positive point. The handling of this bike is very well adjusted for cornering. It really surprised me. That's a good thing. Spoked wheels without inner tubes, already standard. You don't pay anything extra for that, which is really good. So that's a positive point. Here at the back, you can turn off the rear wheel ABS with a very easy button. You don't need to go into the dashboard. Just press here and it shows right there, ready. You're already set for adventure. Another positive point of this bike is the tank capacity, a tank with 17.5 liters of gasoline. Just so you have an idea, my F900 from BMW has 14, so this one is way ahead in terms of range and tank capacity. Another good thing is that it's a versatile motorcycle. You can ride it both in the city, in traffic, on the highway, and also off-road. That's great because you don't have to buy a separate bike for each purpose. That's a good thing. Another good thing is that it's a trail bike that's accessible for short people, so let's give it the short people seal of approval. Because usually, the shorter someone is, the more they want a tall bike. It's always like that, right? But not here. Here you don't have the discomfort of having to shift your hips because this big is more accessible. So you have that. You can even lower it by 2 centimeters, as I told you. So that's a good thing. But taller people will struggle a bit. But there's an accessory seat, which is a much higher seat to bring more comfort. Price. Price is a good positive point, at least the starting price. Cfmoto really made an entrance, setting an example for other manufacturers. Very affordable price, so I liked it. And last but not least, fixed price maintenance, so even before you buy, you already know how much you're going to spend. And speaking of after sales, a lot of people might ask, but CF, even before launching the bikes, already has a huge warehouse with spare parts. They only released it to the media, and what does that show? It shows that they're listening to the market and learning from the mistakes of others. They're getting ready so they don't end up with a bad reputation. So, this shows their commitment to Brazil, right here in the country, still talking about Cfmoto through the NIC group. They've already been here for 10 years with ATVs and UTVs and now with motorcycles, so they already know our market. They already have a lot of products out there, so I believe we won't have problems, right? Only time will tell. And now let's go to the negative points. The first negative point is the small windshield. I know its purpose is for off-road, all that, but here it doesn't help at all. So all the wind comes through, it gets in the way, so I end up feeling uncomfortable riding on the road. The faster I go, the worse it gets for me, so that's a negative point. Another thing I didn't really like was the tires. One good thing is that if you're going to use it more on the road, you can even put on a slightly smoother tire. This provides greater stability and safety in turns. I would need to ride a bit more with the tire, but my first impression was that it didn't provide that much grip. So that's my opinion, a negative point. A negative point, it might sound silly, but anyway, I think it's a bit heavy to maneuver when it's stopped, okay? When you're riding it, you don't even notice. It actually feels pretty light in terms of handling, but since it has a big tank, right, which is a good thing I mentioned to you, the downside is that the center of gravity ends up being a little higher up here, so you have to be careful when you're maneuvering it, okay? Another bad thing was the iPhone issue, right? When you lock it, it only shows turn-by-turn directions, and I like to see the little map there. It makes me feel safer. It's much easier for me. And another downside, I'm even taking the seat off here. The seat could be another downside. I'm not putting the seat on since removing it is easy, but installing it is complicated. But what I wanted to show you is the tool here for you to adjust the rear suspension. Adding the preload adjustment is a good thing. But the downside is that you have a spring on top and kind of a counter spring on the bottom. If you had two tools, you could hold the bottom and adjust the top. So there's no little wheel that you turn. So for you, making the adjustment isn't that easy. So that's a downside. If it came with two tools, it would be easier. But because of that, it's a bit harder for you to adjust the preload. It's something everyone does. You're going off-road, taking a passenger, adding luggage. You go there and turn a click up or down on the preload. So I found this part a little difficult. Thank you for watching. You, owner of the Ibex 450, will remember me when you're struggling with the seat here, right? You'll remember me when you have to take this off to access something. Another downside is that the seat isn't that comfortable for long trips. So after 300 or 400 kilometers, it's going to hurt a little. I won't list the seat as a downside since bikes like this usually have even harder seats. I was surprised since I expected a harder seat, but it's comfortable. Just remember, this isn't a touring motorcycle. I think it's really important for you to understand its purpose. You can even change the seat later. There are other seats available on the market, right? They'll definitely show up, but overall I thought the seat was okay. However, if you're going to ride for several kilometers like, oh, I'm going to bed with it, you can go, but keep in mind your butt is going to hurt, especially for the passenger, okay? So it's not that comfortable. For the passenger, Cfmoto has, for example, the Ibex 700, which has a video here on the channel, link in the description and also in the card. And then you can see whether it's a good option for motorcycle touring. And the last negative point isn't Cfmoto's fault. It's not the Ibex 450's fault. Whose fault is it? It's Brazil's fault, right? Our leaders who don't do anything, which is the issue of theft. So I can already see that this bike is definitely going to be targeted because it's the kind of bike that guys like, actually, they're stealing everything. That's the truth. But I think these trail bikes, just like what happened with the speed bikes, people go with something on their backs, so it could be a problem. In fact, a lot of people like this engine. It's even going to the CLC line exactly to get away from Cfmoto, just to avoid being targeted. So, I need to warn you, if you live in somewhat complicated areas like Rio or São Paulo, take that into consideration or ride in a group and everything so you don't end up being a victim. Now, if you live in Curitiba, right? If you live in Curitiba, you're happy, right? In the countryside of São Paulo or the Midwest of Brazil, you won't have any problems for sure. But it even becomes a bit of a protest, right? We motorcyclists suffer with this until when, right? And it's available in 2 colors, priced at 35,990 reais already, including shipping. In other words, you don't pay anything extra for that. At least for now. We don't know how long Cfmoto will be able to keep this price because it came in below what people expected, even below the range they themselves set, which was 39 to 41. Everything sold out, nothing left. It was a success. Let's wait for the second batch to see how dealerships handle it, since the factory's suggested price often differs from what dealerships set. I hope they can keep it so that we Brazilians can buy it, right? And now, answering the question from the beginning of the video, for you who stayed until the end, here's the key takeaway. Is it worth it? Yes, it's worth it. For 2 reasons. First, the price is great, so if you lock it in, you could profit as an investment. Best investment of 2026. No, just kidding, but the price is good, so buy it. I don't think you'll lose money. Second point, it's a well-established motorcycle abroad, okay? It's already a project that even though it just arrived in Brazil in 2026, it's been running for about 5 years overseas. So there have already been problems that others experienced. The others were kind of guinea pigs that CF has already fixed. When it comes to the chassis, electronics, and the more mechanical parts, let's say, they've already been tested. What hasn't been tested? Brazilian gasoline. So we don't have the issue of our gasoline. And let's see how it's going to behave, because I believe that the heavy use of the chassis impacts and off-road is already well established. Now our gasoline here, which is almost more ethanol with just a drop of gasoline, we don't know how it's going to behave, but I believe we won't have any problems with that. Let's hope so. But in general, yes, it's worth it. If you like the motorcycle, if you can take a test ride, do it. If you saw it and want to buy it, because I think it's a good bet too, right? The price is cheap, right? I mean cheap, right? In my opinion, the price is good, but it's Amanda and parts, I don't know what. Several automakers have issues with parts, and even Honda, depending on the part you're looking for, it might take a while to arrive. Yeah, Cfmoto doesn't sponsor this video, but I think raising the price, guys, so I think that's why it's a success, right? It's your choice. Consider these pros and cons, but I think it's definitely worth it. That's all. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and share with your friends, WhatsApp groups, or Facebook. Let's bring in a new brand, right? One that's just arrived in our market, that's already well known and established abroad, and now it's come to our market with a competitive price. Let's share this news with everyone. Subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, because I'm going to test other motorcycles from Cfmoto, I'll test other brands that are arriving, VOJ and others as well. So if you're subscribed, you'll be the first to know. You'll see everything here, all the news about the Brazilian two-wheel market. And of course, if you want to help Mandinha even more, look, my little heart, beating here for you who clicked the link and became a channel member. Besides helping Mandinha, you get exclusive benefits like early access. There's also exclusive content and several advantages. More information is in the description. Up here, I left a really cool video for you, and down here, I left the video about the Ibex 700, which is the big sister of the Ibex 450. With the touring proposal, which came with a price of 44,000 reais, it's really jaw-dropping. Cfmoto really made an entrance. Don't forget to leave your like. See you next time, Moto Kiss.